Hi there, hope you're doing well. In this video, I want to talk specifically about one thing, the new way that escape motions are licensing Rebelle, starting with Rebelle 8. When this was first revealed and discussed, it generated a lot of questions, confusions and concerns, but I think it's a really good idea, so I'd like to take a moment of your valuable time to explain why. My name's Pete. Welcome to Basement Picasso. So going forward, when you buy Rebelle, you will get the latest version, currently version 8, which is now in early access, along with a guarantee of 12 months worth of updates. When this was announced, people had a lot of questions. What has changed and why? Is it a subscription? Have Escape Motions gone full on Adobe? What happens if I stop paying for upgrades? Why have Escape Motions done this? And is it better for them or better for us? And so on. Before I answer these, I would emphasise that the license agreement is Escape Motions to update at their discretion, so always check their agreement for the latest terms. Also, for full disclosure, this video is not sponsored, but as a beta tester for the last few years, I do get a free copy of the Pro version of Rebelle on release. That said, these views are my own. So what exactly was the problem with the old license? What exactly was the old license? Well, if you bought Rebelle 6, for example, you were buying that major version with an implicit agreement to get all updates to that version for free. As you can see, Rebelle 6 eventually got to version 6.2.3, meaning something like 23 updates that included bug fixes, improvements, and some minor enhancements. Rebelle was nominally on an annual development cycle, so in principle, you would get 12 months of updates. But in practice, after 6 or 7 months, the team would be starting to build the next major version 7 in that case. We'd have less and less time to support version 6. So you really only got about 6 or 7 months of support, after which that version reached its final mature version. Because the support work is effectively unpaid, the developers are incentivised to keep exciting new features for the next big version, rather than give them away as a free update. And they're incentivised to try and release the next version as soon as possible to earn new revenue. When this is pushed too far, as I would argue that it was with version 7, what can end up getting released, although well-intentioned, can be unstable and a bit of a buggy mess. The patches and updates become as much about finishing the software as it is about bug fixes. It took many patches and updates for Rebelle 7 to be usable and stable, and this isn't good for the developers. It's a stressful way to develop software, and it isn't good for users getting poor quality software. It was never an issue with the features that they were trying to add to Rebelle 7. It was purely an issue around software quality. Trying to bundle all those new features into a single release is extremely slow and hard to test. Each new feature may clash with others, and they all have to be tested for backwards compatibility across multiple platforms. And when a new major release was announced, users would be tempted to wait for the next big version of the software. So the user would miss out on being able to use the software immediately. And Escape Motions would have a sale that was either delayed or maybe even missed. They tried to fix this by offering a window where you could buy Rebelle 7 with a free upgrade to Rebelle 8 to solve this, which makes sense. And this was really a precursor to the new license, which offers 12 months of upgrades. So to get past these problems, Escape Motions have switched to a method where an initial purchase gets you the latest software and 12 months worth of upgrades. This is not a subscription. I really need to emphasise that. It is not a subscription because at the end of the 12-month period, you have a perpetual license to the latest version at that point in time. In the same way that if you bought Rebelle 6 but have never upgraded since, you would still have a perpetual license to use Rebelle 6 for as long as it runs on relevant hardware and operating systems. A subscription would prevent you using that older software, but the license was, and still is, a perpetual license. And there have always been upgrades. If you had Rebelle 6, you could choose to upgrade to Rebelle 7 or 8 at a reduced rate. You didn't pay the full price. It was an upgrade, not a full new purchase. And that is at the core of the new license model. You get 12 months of upgrades, not just updates. If Rebelle 9 comes out in 9 months' time, you would get that version. But I'll explain in a second why major version numbers will become increasingly irrelevant. What Escape Motions are switching to is a form of agile development. And this is a good thing. I can say that with confidence because I literally wrote a book on agile software development. So with this license model, instead of having to wait and bundle up all the new features, the team can develop exciting new features incrementally, one at a time. Each one can be developed much more quickly, tested more fully, rolled out, and user feedback incorporated within a much shorter timescale. With this model, users will get a more continuously improving product. You don't need to wait at least 12 months to get a new feature. And it's less stressful and more satisfying for the developers, and they can focus on improving the latest version rather than constantly trying to support an old version while simultaneously developing a new one. It's just a better way to develop and release software. Big new versions of the software become a thing of the past. It's just a continuously improving product. So there may never be a Rebelle 9, and that's a good thing. There will just be an ever-improving Rebelle. For anyone that bought, say, Rebelle 6, but has then chosen not to upgrade, they would have access to the same last version, that 6.2.3 that we mentioned. But that will be slightly different going forward. When your 12 months runs out, you would have access to the current latest version at that point in time, but no future versions. You have a perpetual license to that version, whatever the build number is. So it's not a subscription. You're not committed to paying any further upgrades after that. What you can do is decide whether you value the ongoing future improvements or whether you simply want to continue supporting the development team and stay up to date. For their part, the development team at Escape Motions are highly incentivized to keep developing the software, improving the quality, and adding interesting and valuable features for the users. I spoke to Peter Blazkowicz last year, and I shared my thoughts and ideas to continue to improve the programme, and everything I've seen and heard from the team convinces me this is a dedicated and passionate small development team that cares about the community and wants to simply develop the best software that they can. I think this is a great way to do it. Better quality software with regular delivery of exciting new features. So I hope that puts to bed any concerns for you. The new license gives you 12 months of genuine upgrades, not just bug fixes. And as long as the annual upgrade costs are kept reasonable, I think this should be a great success. One suggestion I would have for Escape Motions is to maybe build on the excellent forum that they have on their website and maybe add a published enhancement list for the user community to vote on. I think it'd be great to see what people wanted to be added next. But of course, as always, these are just my opinions, and I'd be delighted to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like this new license model? Now you've heard a bit more about it, let me know. As always, if you've made it this far, then a huge thanks for supporting the channel. I hope to see you again soon.